This month, we're going to do some testing. Now, we are going to have our Patreon live stream next Saturday. I will put out some links and notifications for that, so hopefully you won't miss that one. But I did ask for suggestions on what we should go over in that live stream, things we can chat about, and somebody mentioned the difference between a 0.9 angle stepper motor and a 1.8 angle stepper motor. So I thought that would be a good thing to go ahead and test. We can definitely talk about it on the live stream, but I wanted to see it for myself. So I grabbed my Prusa MK3, I did do a bit of maintenance on it, I greased up the bearings, I tightened the belts, I swapped out to a new nozzle, but I just ran some prints with all the stock settings, and they came out fairly well. Then I grabbed a 0.9 motor, I switched it out, and I ran the same G-codes, the same tests, just to compare them. Now before we take a look at the prints, and we decide whether that's a good idea to go to a 0.9 angle motor, let's review just a little bit about steppers and firmware and how all this fits together to see if it's actually going to make a difference. So here comes the information. So first up, let's just take a quick look of what's inside that stepper motor. You have a stator and then you have the rotor. Most of the time in 3D printing, what we're dealing with is a setup like this. With the step angle, we're mostly concerned about the rotor. They're showing a 96 pole motor here, but that'll make more sense here in a minute. You can imagine as this motor's turning and you're coming around to each one of these poles and it gets recognized by the stator, the further apart, the fewer the poles there might be, the larger the angle is going to be when it actually recognizes it. And that's really all we need to know about a 0.9 degree versus a 1.8 degree. But I did find this other picture. This is a good article, I'll leave a link to it if I can remember. But this shows you the 0.9 degree angle of the rotor versus the 1.8 degree step angle rotor. Basically all we're saying is we have a lot more poles to key off of on the 0.9 than we would on the 1.8. And that would give you a lot more granularity. So in theory, your resolution should be a lot higher. Now there are some caveats to this. Going to a higher step angle, you will lose some torque at different voltages the higher you go. So you should be able to get just a little bit more drive and power out of a 1.8, but in our scenario with 3D printers on a NEMA 17, that's probably not really going to be an issue. If you read a lot of information on this topic, 0.9 versus 1.8, a lot of people are stating that some of this was back when we didn't have so many microstepping options like we do now. So maybe in full step mode, this was more advantageous at some time. But it is important to note, in our case on the NEMA 17, if you have a 0.9 degree step angle, you're going to have to turn 400 steps to get a full rotation. On a 1.8, it's half, so 200 steps to get a full rotation. So keep that in mind. Now the next thing I want to show you is the Prusa firmware. So on a Mark III by default, they have microstepping set for X, Y, and Z to 16 times. On the E stepper, they have it set to 32. So with that added microstepping, they're trying to gain just a little bit more resolution rather than going to a 0.9 motor. On top of that, every one of the stepper drivers has interpolation set on to 256. But what exactly does interpolation mean? Well, in the case of the 2130, what they're referring to is something that TMC uses called microplier. And this is the datasheet that Trinamic gives you to try to explain how the steps work by the motor angle with microplier. I don't know that this chart's going to be super helpful, but basically what it's saying, if you have your microstep setting, your actual microstep setting based on the hardware at 16 times, for every 16 times microstep, it's going to times that by 16 up to 256 interpolation. So every 16th step gets 16 steps. Hopefully you're still following me. Now Prusa does set theirs up to 32. In this datasheet, there is nowhere where they say that you can hardware step on a 2130 at 32 times. This graph is somewhat assuming that you can do that. I'm sure Prusa knows what they're doing in their firmware, but as far as this datasheet goes, they don't have any evidence of it. My guess is the maximum is still 256, no matter if you're running at 16 or 32. So probably, even if you're running at 32, it's still only dividing those 32 up by 16. So it sounds awesome, right? 200 steps versus 400 steps. 400 is going to be better because the resolution's higher. You can get more incremental steps inside of that 0.9 angle motor. Well, true. But if you have microstepping 16 times, 32 times, interpolation 256, That kind of takes the benefit out of some of those extra steps on that 0.9 motor. Technically, in theory, it should be more accurate, but by the time you're using it to lay down plastic or move around a 3D printer, it's probably not going to matter much. And that's what we're going to test today. Now, I don't see much use on a 3D printer, especially a Cartesian machine, an i3 design, to use a 09 on X, Y, or Z. It's just not going to benefit you that much, and at the layer resolution that you're going to print at, there's pretty much no sense in it. But on the extruder motor, while it's trying to feed in that filament, there might be some advantage to it. Now, you might have heard of a moire or morar effect, however you want to pronounce it, but basically what that is the driver is not able to send consistent pulses to the motor, and they don't meet up so much. With the 2130, that is possible. You used to see it a lot on the 4988s, where you can see the candy striping across the print. It's extremely consistent. But the 2130 can suffer from that as well. Now, Prusa has done some things tricky inside the firmware to be able to try to compensate for that. It's called linearity compensation. And they have a test print that will run the steps up and down to control that pulse modulation to try to get the perfect setting. And I did run those tests on both a 1.8 and a 0.9, and it was somewhat interesting. So we're going to take a look at that as well. But let's just take a look at the 1.8 models for a second. So if you've done your maintenance on your Prusa and it's running top notch, this is about as good as a benchy as you're going to get at a 0.2 layer height. You can see some of this noise in here, maybe a little bit of ghosting, but that's pretty typical on that 2130, not the effect that I'm really talking about. And with that inconsistent pulse setting, moire, whatever you want to call it, you would see it up in here as it gradually goes down the side of the benchy. And on the quality on this print, for this printer, this is about as good as you're going to get for fast 0.2. This takes about an hour and a half to print. You can see just a little bit of ghosting down in here. And if we take a look at the other side, there's one inconsistent line in particular right there that concerned me a bit because of the difference I saw in between the two stepper motors. And you'll see more on that in a second. Again, these are default settings. For this filament, we could probably adjust retraction to get rid of some of this. There are adjustments that could be made to get this a little better, but we're just going for layer consistent quality here, and that's pretty par for the course. So if we take a look at this linearity test that Prusa has created, hopefully you're going to be able to see this in the camera, but what you're looking for are those 45-degree lines. You can see them down in here. And this G-code actually increases that linearity setting to try to get you the best one so you can set it on your printer. Honestly, I've run this test and played with those settings on the printer. Most of the time the prints look the best when I turn it off. But you can definitely see it most down here. That's the effect that we're talking about. And remember, this is on the 1.8. Notice how close those lines are to each other. Just keep that in your mind. Now let's go to the 0.9 angle benchy. Giving this a really hard look, it is almost identical to the 1.8. There were some settings I had to change in the firmware, and we'll go over that in a moment. But just looking around, pretty much the same thing. But there was one thing that jumped out at me. Now this is the 0.9 over here, and this is the 1.8. Remember I was telling you about this line up here? That's really common to see on the top of that archway on a benchy. But take a look at the 0.9. That inconsistency is still there. You can see it, but it's a lot finer than it is on the 1.8. And switching over to a 0.9, that's the kind of fine detail that's going to matter. This is worst case scenario, by the way. This filament is really good at showing flaws, and I've got the exposure way up. I don't even know if you could actually see this with your naked eye. But it is just a little bit better. And the most interesting thing that I found during this testing was this linearity test. This is the 0.9 motor. If we get the light just right, you can see that 45-degree candy striping in there. But look how much tighter it is on the 0.9 than it was on the 1.8. Let's do a side-by-side there. We've got our 1.8 over here. You can see it best down there. And then our 0.9 over here. It's twice as dense. And I don't think that means it's any better or worse, but it's definitely going to make it look a little different on the print. But that's what you would expect. You would expect it to be twice the amount. If we jump over to Octoprint and take a look at the terminal, you'll notice that I increased my E-steps by double. So with your 32 times microstep right down here, this is a direct drive gear. They are dual Bondtech gears, but it's still directly on the shaft of the motor. This would be set at 140 on 16 times, 280 on 32 times, that's the default Prusa setting, and then if you double it for that 400 step motor, the 0.9 angle, you're going to be set at 560. But what does that mean? Well, if you take a look at some of these calculations for clock speed versus number of steps, well, the clock speed on the 2560 chip that's on the INC board is 16 megahertz. These are giving you a 1.8 degree motor, 200 steps per revolution, and they're moving lead screw resolutions 5 per inch. Steps per inch would be 1,000. They estimate that at 3.3 kilohertz. So just imagine that you're running X, Y, Z, and E. You have to kick out step pulses for all of those at the same time. You're going to overrun that processor fairly quickly. So the bottleneck of that 0.9 stepper angle really probably isn't your concern. So is running a 0.9 degree angle motor a good idea for your 3D printer? Well, yes and no. It might help a bit, but I definitely wouldn't consider running one on X, Y, or Z, especially on a Cartesian i3 machine. Again, it's not going to help you that much at the resolution that you're going to be able to print at. But now for the extruder motor, it will help some. Again, in theory, you can see just a little bit of difference. But with an 8-bit board like this one, you could go up to a 32-bit and get a little bit more performance. I think you're going to cause more issues than you're going to solve. Unless everything else on your printer is tuned in, and this is the last possible upgrade that you can do to make your printer complete, I'd just stay away from it and go with the technology that's available on those TMC drivers. A 2209 is a great driver. You don't see a lot of these effects that we saw today, even on the older 2130. So just go with that driver, run a high quality 1.8 motor, and you should be all set. A 0.9 versus a 1.8, I would go with a higher quality 1.8 than I would with a lower quality 1.9. You're probably going to get better results based on how they're built. Well, hopefully you found this information helpful. I am looking forward to doing the live stream on Saturday. These videos are just for you, and I'll see you on the next coffee break.